Broncos country, welcome to Altitude Advantage. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez. And in the studio, we have our lead writer on DenverBroncos.com, Aric DiLalla. We've checked a few things off the list this offseason, and just like that, it's time for rookie minicamp. From college to the pros, the Broncos' 7 draftees are in the building, and we will get a first look at the 2025 draft class.
Yeah, I'm excited. These guys are here. What did George Payton tell you? It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, for GMs and scouts.
Or, excuse me, for the GMs and scouts when they
probably for the draft picks too, honestly.
That's right. Yeah, they get here and they they start to get settled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might, if you're a fan, you might think, okay, well, what's the importance of rookie minicamp? I think that every coach, every team does it a little bit differently. For a long time, the Broncos didn't get out on the field. Sean Payton has them out on the field. I like that. You start to get acclimated.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your chance, I think, to start to get up to speed, because before long, you're tossed in there with the vets, right? And it's like, okay, now here we go for real. And so this is a chance for the Broncos draft picks to start to get acclimated.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Denver added some college free agents, a first chance to see those guys. There's a bunch of tryout players. That's kind of a thing that maybe George Payton and Sean Payton have liked to do, that the Broncos haven't always done. Sometimes they used to, kind of when I started here, have these smaller rookie mini camps. Now they bring in guys and you kind of see, hey, could any of these guys maybe join our team and be valuable for our roster?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to see, I think. Plus, you get to see the jersey numbers. I know everybody's excited about
I feel like that's what fans are waiting for, and that's what they expect from minicamp. I feel like when I've been scrolling on the deep dive of what is, social media, fans like, everyone's excited. What are the numbers? What are the numbers? What are the numbers?
That's the reply to every single thing that we've posted the last few days.
Yeah.
When are rookie numbers dropping? What are the rookie numbers?
Mm-hmm.
They're coming. If they're not already out already by the time that we post this. And I will say, the numbers always subject to change. Important, right? Because last year you had Audric Estime in one number, Devon Vela in another number. They ended up changing by the time the regular season arrived. So I don't know. Maybe if you want to go buy your jersey now, obviously Bo Nix, right? Like, he got 10. He wasn't changing from 10.
Yeah.
So I think you were safe there, but we'll see. Maybe I just want to say that they're subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see which of these guys end up sticking with these numbers, which ones change. But I think on the field, you just want to see guys kind of get into it. And it's your first glimpse. And sometimes you can tell right away, like, hey, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting. Obviously, a lot of time to go, long ways to go before we get to training camp, the regular season, all that. But it's fun to see him out there and get your first look at him in the orange and blue.
Well, we know that the Broncos team store loves to see me coming. So I feel like you get a blank jersey, you hold off, then get it customized. I feel like there's a few ways to kind of,
that's smart.
Get your jersey and kind of do that. But what do you look?
You could get both numbers. You could get the number now, and then if they change, you could get the second number.
Exactly. I mean, I'm always here to buy stuff from the team store. But what are you looking forward to the most? Is there anyone that you're really excited to see?
I mean, obviously Jahdae Barron. I think I'm interested less in a physical trait standpoint, because I think we can expect that he's going to have solid movement skills and all that. And it'll be fun to see him in the jersey and all that. But I like to see, how do these first round picks lead on the field? Like, do they take command? Obviously, that was a big thing with Bo a year ago, because he was a quarterback, a first round pick.
Yeah.
And at the quarterback position, that's especially important. But I always just kind of take note of, how does the first round pick kind of lead this group? And I would guess, just based on when we talked to him when he was here after the draft, that he's going to have no problem doing that, just because the type of kind of personality he has, it's warm, it's welcoming. He's a guy, I think, that just draws people to him, and it feels easy to follow. And so I'll be interested, one, to see how does he kind of not take command, right, but just how does he guide this group, and what sort of leadership role does he take on?
Yeah.
I know people are excited to see RJ Harvey, right? Running back out of UCF. We know how fast he's going to be.
People.
It's you. You're the people. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem. The thing that I just running backs, it's hard to evaluate until you see him in pads.
Yeah.
And so he's going to get out there, and I think we're going to be excited to see him. You're going to see the speed, I imagine. But until he gets pads on and he can run through some people, that's the first time you're really going to get a sense, I think, for how he plays. And that doesn't come until a few days into training camp, right? So it's going to be some time. But, maybe Pat Bryant, he's a guy that I think, because the other, Q Robinson, outside linebacker, Savion Jones, defensive end. Like, I think it's hard for some of these guys without pads on to really show what they can do.
Right.
But Pat Bryant and then Caleb Lohner, the tight end out of Utah, who only played 1 year of college football, had 4 catches for 4 touchdowns.
I love that stat. That's the kind of stat I would want in football. Like 4 catches, 4 touchdowns. I gets the job done and I'm efficient.
I would do like 30 catches, 30 touchdowns. But
I mean,
but
if I get drafted on 4 and 4, I can live with that.
That's true. That's true. So I think there'll be a lot of eagerness to see him just because of, Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gates, all these guys that have played basketball and successfully made a transition to the NFL. But Pat Bryant, I think, is getting slept on maybe a little bit nationally. I think some people thought, maybe could they have waited a little bit longer? But when you know the guy you want and you know how he fits in your system, you go make sure that you get him.
Yeah.
And this guy, I think tied an Illinois single-season record with his 10 touchdown catches, 5th in the Big Ten in receiving yards. And I think when you watch him play, it's the sure-handedness. And the Broncos obviously really liked that I think, 78 targets, 1 drop, that's it. And so if you're going to throw him the ball, he's going to catch it. And then you watch his highlights and his ability to work underneath and make plays after the catch. I think that's going to fit really well with what the Broncos want to do. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him make an impact here as a rookie. So maybe I'll go with him. That from an on-field standpoint, it's Pat Bryant, it's Caleb Lohner that I want to see kind of in action.
That's fair. And then we have Jeremy Crawshaw because punters are people too. I'm
listen. I don't mean to diminish what a punter does, and he's going to compete for a role here.
Yeah.
But ideally, right, like we don't want the Broncos to punt all that much.
This is true.
Right? You'd rather score touchdowns. Now, if he's maybe you want to see him out there holding a lot for extra points.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Shouldn't forget about Jeremy Crawshaw.
I like the vision that you have for him. You're just going to be extra points, no punts, hanging out.
Well, I don't think it's realistic to think no punts, but certainly you want the offense out there more often than not.
Yeah, I'm really excited just to see how they all gel together, right? I think it's really important because last season we really saw how all the rookies from the 2024 draft class really kind of came together and gelled together. And they were a huge part. I remember kind of middle of the season, Garrett Bowles mentioning the rookies aren't rookies anymore. Like we lean on them very heavy, and with the amount of respect that they gain from the veterans, especially last season when everyone in the media kind of counted them out and everything, those rookies really stepped up. But I feel it's a big part of how they all kind of stood by each other. So I'm interested to see how this class really kind of comes in, gels together. And to your point with Jahdae Barron, I'm excited to see, how he leads, but also just the camaraderie that he's going to build with those guys. He mentioned that when he was at Texas, he had 80 different handshakes with his teammates. I don't know if he repeated some or what, but he said he had 80. And he said it's just part of that connection. He's like, I'm really good with people, and I'm going to continue to do the things that got me here. And that's being myself, being a team guy, showing up for my brothers. And that really starts at rookie minicamp and kind of what you're able to bring to the table and the authenticity of it doesn't matter where any of us got drafted. We're all here now, and we all have one vision, that's to win. Yeah,
that's a good point about doesn't matter where we got drafted. Sean Payton likes to say that a lot, and I'm sure we'll hear him say that this weekend, right, is that you could be a first-round pick, you could be a seventh-round pick, you could be undrafted. You got to come in here and earn it. And obviously the Broncos have this long history of undrafted guys making the roster, so that's another thing is like, do you see somebody this weekend that starts to make you think, hey, could one of these guys earn a roster spot? And I think the exciting thing about having a team that made the playoffs a year ago, a strong roster already, is that it becomes harder and harder to make the roster, right? And so if you do have somebody make it, or you do have, X number of these 7 draft picks make it, that speaks to the caliber of player that they are. And so that's a good thing if the roster is hard to make. The other thing that you mentioned that I thought was spot on was last year it was a mature rookie class, right? And they were counted on early. And Vele and Franklin obviously played big roles. And Ellis, was in the rotation. And Bo, obviously we know what he did. And Estime at times had his opportunities. And Chris Abrams-Drain, when he gets thrust in there, made some big-time plays. Yeah. It was against the Browns, right, on Monday Night Football. And so
big primetime lights.
Exactly. And so that's the other thing is, can this class – and the Broncos do have some guys in here with a lot of experience, whether it's Jahdae Barron, whether it's a Pat Bryant. Especially early in the draft, they found those guys with some experience. R.J. Harvey. Can they come in and be that same kind of mature class that – listen, this is obviously as a rookie, and Sean Payton talked about it, like year one, you're kind of learning the system. Year two, you're kind of perfecting it and taking that next step. And that's why you hopefully see steps forward from a Franklin, a Vele, an Audric Estime. But that said, this is a team that we know has aspirations of competing for an AFC West title, of competing for more. And so if you're a Jahdae Barron, if you're a Pat Bryant, if you're an RJ Harvey, if you're a Savion Jones, like come in and show you're ready to contribute now. And every part of the process matters. And that starts right here with rookie minicamp.
Well, I think George and Sean Payton do a really good job of getting guys that are very team and not me, and wanting to find those guys that are leaders in their groups, but also know when to learn, when to absorb information, when to adapt to whatever environment, whatever, kind of strain that they kind of see ahead of them. And when you look at a guy in the first round, when we spoke to Barron, he mentioned that when you have those kind of early on struggles or obstacles, he's like, I've learned by just talking to people. He's like, first day I get here, I want to connect with a veteran. I want to learn. And what impressed me was it's not the skill set. It was, I want to learn what they eat. I want to learn what time they wake up. I want to learn what time they get to meetings. I want to know how long it takes to get here. Like just the little details that allows you to become the best player that you can be, because it's a lot of what happens off the field that translates to on the field. And I think when you have a guy like that you got in the first round, able to connect with the younger guys and having a veteran group that is open to taking on those responsibilities of showing the rookie. And again, not worrying about spots or anything like that. Just like, we're all a team. We're all going to contribute, because the mindset that I got from all the guys last season was, I'm going to do whatever they tell me to. I'm going to play whatever they tell me to play. It was never a competition. They're like, we're going to do whatever I'm needed to do from this team to succeed. And I think having these guys come in for rookie minicamp, like you said, where it starts, you're able to kind of see how they're coming in, their body language, how they're adapting, how they're talking, joking around. I feel like all those things really matter. Because again, then the rest of the guys come and you're going to have to hold your own even more.
Yeah. And that, it's all stuff we'll be looking out for this weekend.
Yeah. And what else we're going to be looking out for, which I cannot wait for, is the schedule release, which happens on May 14th. Now, the dates are still TBD, but we do know who we're playing in terms of the teams. The Broncos have 9 home games this time around, 8 road games. And so we're really excited to kind of see that. But when you look at just the schedule ahead of you, it's almost hard not to jump to that, right? Because there's so much that happens in between.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of my favorite times a year, and anyone who's listened to the podcast for a while knows, like, I love schedule release day. It's like Christmas for me. We talked about, for George Payton, it's when the guys get here for rookie minicamp. For me, it's schedule release day, because I know that we know who we're playing. I know that we know where we're playing, but I love, like, seeing, okay, hey, this 3-game stretch is really going to define things. And, like, can the Broncos get through this with, like, can they get 2 wins here out of these 3? Or like, man, you might have to win these 3 at the end of the year if you want to win the division. Like, I love that.
You like breaking them up into your buckets, like of what's
which ones do you have to win, which ones, and like just pick a random game like at Kansas City, right? That's always going to be a tricky game, but is that week 1? Is that week 18? Whew. Is that prime time?
Right.
Do you go and do you have to play at noon? Central time?
And you wonder what are going to be the prime time games, because a lot of good opponents out there that you're kind of wondering, like, I
mean, there's like the Broncos are going to face Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Is that one in prime time?
Right.
Is the Eagles open the season at home? Like, is there any chance the Broncos are that opponent that goes there to open the season on Thursday night? Yeah. What are the primetime games? Joe Burrow and the Broncos faced off last year and had this incredible game in Cincinnati. They come here this year. I put out my schedule prediction on DenverBroncos.com, and I thought, man, that'd be fun if that was like week 1 Monday Night Football. Just get right back into it. Have Bo,
give me all the prime times.
Have Bo and Burrow go back and forth. The division games, like all this. I just get really excited about how it all shapes up. It starts to feel more real. The NFL announced that they're going to announce the international games on Tuesday.
Those are always fun.
Obviously, we know the Broncos have expressed interest in playing overseas, and there's kind of 3. They could play the Colts in Berlin, the Jets in London, or the Chargers in Brazil. And so those are kind of the 3 options based on the scheduling formula. We'll see, like, do any of those become reality? But really, there's just, and then you mentioned, like, hey, Cam Ward with the Titans, right? Like,
coming here to Denver.
Coming here to Denver. Travis Hunter.
Yep.
Coming here to Denver, right? Like, there's a lot of different
RJ
storylines.
Harvey had a really nice touchdown when Travis Hunter was chasing him down.
Okay.
Harvey got the best.
No
one
bulletin
right at
board
the end.
material in what month is it, May?
I'm just saying what the film says.
That's
It's just
true.
what my eyes see.
That's
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
technically it wasn't covering him, but that's not the point. The point is he was able to run pretty fast into the touchdown. But you know, the international games are really interesting. I think anytime you get a chance to play international, it'll be fun. Hopefully the Broncos get that opportunity. I know Damani Leach and just the entire organization is really big on creating that global presence for the Broncos all over. I mean, we have fans in Mexico. I mean, Broncos country is Broncos worldwide.
It's all over
everywhere.
the world. Yeah, and like, do you have back-to-back East Coast games at some point? Like, are we going back to the Greenbrier? We'll see. Like,
you missed the porch, huh?
I missed the porch. The podcast was really nice there. I missed the golf course. So I'm all for it.
The lawnmowers.
The lawnmowers. Yeah, it was peaceful. But yeah, a lot to look forward to, and we'll break it all down on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Again, schedule release comes out May 14th, and that'll do it for this edition of Altitude Advantage. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to our lead writer, travel guru, Greenbrier admirer, Aric DiLalla. And make sure you visit DenverBroncos.com for the latest interviews and coverage from rookie minicamp. You're not going to want to miss anything. And stay tuned on our social media channels for our schedule release content brought to you by Ticketmaster.